So you're excited, huh? Fusion 9 was released. And I was like going, oh, Fusion 9 is released. Yeah, me too. I was actually preparing stuff for you, or I was gonna prepare stuff for you. And with the release of Fusion 9, I wanted to do Christmas for you. But unfortunately, Fusion 9 was released too early, so now you have to wait for learning material. But I wasn't lazy. Yesterday I thought, okay, you know what? I want to be first. But usually I don't care about being first or not. I have my own stuff. I believe in what I do, and I don't care what other people do, if they are first or not. But I was this time I thought, you know what? I'm gonna surprise you guys with an unexpected tutorial, unexpected early tutorial, or not a tutorial, introduction, let me say. And I want to talk about the camera tracker. The camera tracker. Actually, I want to give you a quick introduction about the camera tracker. And many people out there were wishing for a camera tracker. And me too, I'm very excited about that. And I thought I'm going to give you a quick introduction, but on top of that, I'm going to give you a comparison, a quick comparison to Syntheyes. Now, I have some experience with Syntheyes. If you know Syntheyes, you know it's a very good tracker. Very easy to handle, very easy to do, and very good results. And I wanted to see, since there are like similarities, I wanted to see how they actually behave right off the batch, if I can say so. So I don't have much experience with the Fusion tracker, but let us see what actually happens. I want to show you here this little project that I did yesterday, and what you see here, let me play. This is a drone footage that I took, and obviously it's not the best quality. It's the cheapest drone you can get. It's a maximum 2K resolution, and fortunately it's shot in log. It can save log. The robot you see in the middle is a 3D object from a sample object from 3D Code, the texturing software. It has the so-called smart materials, which allows you to texture your hard surface objects very quickly, in a way like Substance, Painter, or Designer, but it's still a little different. So I did a very quick texturing, and I exported and imported into Fusion. I did a very quick, very blindly. I just did an auto track and solved it. And the only tricky thing that I had, the only tricky part, was to find the camera lens or the camera data, because in order to have a successful track, you need the camera data. There's no way around it. So here I did some research on the internet. It's really difficult because the drone that I have is just not for professional use. So who wants to do some tracking? Who wants to do some tracking with the cheap drone? Yeah, but I could find something. I'm not sure if it's absolutely correct. I tried it and it seems to be close. Okay, maybe this little problems I have here is due to the inaccurate information. I don't know. I can't say anything about it. However, I'm still very satisfied with the result. If I zoom in, you can see it's still a little shaky. It doesn't sit absolutely. Yeah. But I gotta say that I did actually not tweak the track here. I mean, you can obviously tweak the track until you get a better result, but we're gonna talk about this in a moment. Okay, so what you see here again is completely shaded, lighted and shaded in Fusion. There's nothing done outside except the texturing of the robot, and it's very rough. I mean, I could spend some more time. I hope I have some more time soon to tune it, you know, like make it look really good. But with that said, I would say let's dive right into it. Okay, I got Syntheyes all hot and running, and I thought I'm gonna start with Syntheyes, just walk you through a very quick basic tracking operation here, and we then compare it to Fusion. Okay, so let me just bring in the shot. I've already prepared the shot here, and I'm gonna do import. You see, I've already opened it before. I'm not gonna fool you. And yeah, when you open your shot, you get all these things here that you can choose. But again, I'm going to do an in-depth tutorial where I explain to you the most important stuff. For now, we need to be careful about the frames per second, which is 24 in my case. And all these here, you can just ignore it for now. Okay. So I click OK, and here we go. Now Syntheyes is caching this thing. And right off the batch, recently I'm always saying right off the batch. I don't even know if this is correct English. Okay, but right off the batch, let's just hit the auto track button here. So we don't do anything. Usually you can decide whether you have a zoom lens, tripod, fine tune, all these things. We just do a simple auto track, and we need to wait. And we need to do a lot of waiting in this introduction. But fortunately, we have the time curve, the speed curve. We can speed up this thing. Maybe I can get an espresso or something. Oh, an espresso would be good now. Yeah, so Syntheyes is doing the auto track, and I gotta say, Syntheyes is pretty fast. And well, we will see a comparison. We will see a comparison. I actually have a stopwatch here. I thought I'm gonna stopwatch this. But the auto track is fast in Fusion and in Syntheyes, so we're gonna do the stopwatch with the solving because that's where it takes the most time. Syntheyes is done, and okay, let's take a look what we got. I got a message here on the other screen. So you get this screen with all kinds of information that doesn't tell me anything. It tells me something, but I just ignore it for now. Okay, so what I see right off the batch is that Syntheyes actually did already a pretty good job on aligning the scene. I mean, it really, you can tell that here this is the ground, and the camera path also seems to resemble the path of the drone, because I flew it, so I knew it. I flew it, so I know it. I just wanted to make it rhyme. You can see it looks pretty decent. I mean, here you can see it's a little, the horizontal is a little bit off, but that is indeed a problem with the DJI drone, especially the cheap one. The camera is not perfectly horizontally aligned. It's not straight. So this could be the problem, but we'll see about that later. I mean, I did a little rotation in Fusion before I saved out the sequence and cropped it a little bit, so kind of fix it. Very cheesy, but it could be that I didn't get it 100%. But let's talk about this later. So we got an auto track going on here, but the auto track is basically the first step you do with tracking. So if you're a pro, you probably don't have to watch it. You can, of course, stay and join me. Leave a comment. Maybe have an espresso together someday. Okay, so this is the auto track. That's why you start, but this is not the solve. This doesn't give you a 3D space. This is still 2D, what you see here. Okay, so in order to get a 3D scene, we need to go over here to this calculator. Well, I'm not gonna tweak a lot now, so you can see the very important when you track. It doesn't matter if it's Fusion, PF track, I think, and this value is like the most important value you can have in a track. Trust me, because this value shows you how accurate your track is. And the higher this value is, the worse your track is. Okay? And during your whole track, during your whole tweaking and stuff, you need to keep an eye on that value, because you need to tweak and see whether the value goes down or up. And if it goes up, you know you did something wrong, so you need to tweak something differently, and then until it goes down. If it goes down, you know you're on the right track. It's like Pathfinder. Right off the batch, I love this word, we have a track, an error of 0.6688, which is okay. It's not super bad. I mean, I have tracks that have the first result is like 2 point something. Okay, so this is not bad. But let's just solve this, and I'm gonna stopwatch. I'm gonna stopwatch this. Ready, steady, go. It's running. It's running. It's done. Now, if I click again, it's not worth stopping the time. This is just so quick. I mean, okay. So, but you can see nothing changed here. Same values. What we can do now is, since we have solved it now, we have a 3D space. And what we can do now is we can go to clean up trackers. And this is a very important window because the similar thing we have in Fusion. It looks a little different, but it's just for the same purpose. So here we can define what happens to the bad trackers, the trackers that cause your inaccurate track. So you can see here we can choose bad frames, far-ish trackers, short-lived trackers. These are probably the most important, high error trackers. And I leave it to default, and I just hit fix, and you could see, if you did see it, if not, you have to rewind the video, that some trackers disappeared. Those were the bad trackers, the bad boys. And once you've done that, we have to solve again. And this is exactly the same in Fusion. I think it's the same with all trackers. So I'm gonna I'll leave it to automatic and just hit go. Okay, and very quick again, no need to stop the time. I have 11 seconds here, but I think I forgot to stop because it was so quick that I was like, ooh. But check out this value now, the error value. It's at 0.56. That's an improvement. It still goes better. I think a value of 0.43 is, I think 3 is pretty good. But it all depends on your footage. It really depends on the footage. This footage, if you check this footage here, it has a lot of reflections in there. Okay, reflections or moving objects are your worst enemy when it comes to tracking. Okay, but you can see that Syntheyes did a pretty good job of not putting trackers into the reflections. Here, you can see this one is in a reflection, but it really knew that this point is actually not the reflection, but the water surface. It's something on the surface because it sticks to the point. It doesn't move with the objects in the reflection, with the reflecting image. Yeah, you know what I mean. So there, Syntheyes did a very good job. I'm impressed, really. Until now, I mean, we didn't do really something special. I mean, it was very simple, just 3 steps, I think, if I counted right. Don't go back and count. Yeah. Since this is a very simple introduction, and I want to keep it simple now. The next thing you want to do with when you have your track or your solve is we want to align actually the whole scene. We want to align it properly. We want the flow to be horizontal, right? And it's already looking pretty good, but if we go in here and we have this, you can see here this 3 thing. And what we do now is we choose 3 points because that's the minimum you need in order to define a flat surface. Okay, so we make sure that we find 3 points that should be absolutely even, horizontal, leveled. You choose the word you want to choose. So I think I'm going to choose this one and maybe this one. Of course, this is a construction site. It's probably not 100% even. I know. Okay, and I choose this one. And then it asks you apply coordinate system, change to refine mode if necessary. Honestly, I don't know what that means. I click yes, and let's see what we have. So when I did it before, it actually looked better, but it seems that the ground now is leveled pretty damn good. I don't know why this time it rotated the camera up there. It doesn't really matter with the track, but the track I did before, the camera really stayed here, and it was really like I was standing when I recorded this thing, when I flew the drone. No, I wasn't actually standing there. It's not. I was secretly there, to be honest. whatever. It doesn't really matter as long as the camera itself in relation to the tracker point and all this stuff, as long as that is moving correctly, it doesn't matter how you align this, and you can always rotate it in Fusion later or so. Okay, I think this is looking pretty good. Why am I holding the stopwatch? The next thing you would do is you would add an object to make sure that this thing is moving accurate, smooth, and you can do this here. Okay, and I'm just gonna create a box. I'm just gonna do something like this. It's a huge box. Okay, create a box. Whoa, what's going on here? Okay, and now in order to make sure that this thing is absolutely rock solid, I want to move this thing to a point where to a reference point. So for example, this black dot, this stone here, I want to move this. It's a little more difficult now because Syntheyes rotated my whole scene and can move here. Okay, let's just go into the camera mode. Okay, the increments are too big. That was wrong. Which one? Almost. About here, you see now it's kind of touching this black dot, and I switch back to camera. And what we do now is I want to see if that corner sticks to that stone, to that black point. Maybe it's a cockroach or something, I don't know. And we scroll through, and you can see here's a little distance, but I don't know if it was just the perspective or something. I mean, how can you tell? But it looks like it sticks pretty darn good. I mean, this is for this simple process, this simple track, this is awesome. Okay, back to Fusion. So let's move down here where I had the tracker before, and this is the footage. This is the transform and crop that I was talking before, and I'm gonna add a camera tracker. Very nice and fresh. And I'm just gonna hook this quickly in, and yeah, okay, here we go. Here we got the tracker. Well, let's move this away here. I need this for the camera information. Okay, so here we've got the tracker. Very quick. So in the camera tracker at the top, you see we have several tabs. This is basically also the order that you would do a tracking. So you would start here with track, then you went over to the camera, would enter your camera data, then you would solve, and then you would export. And this is just options for some special stuff. As we did in Syntheyes, we're gonna try to do the same stuff, the same steps in Fusion. So the first thing we want to do is an auto track. We want to activate, or you want to activate, the preview auto track location so that we actually see the tracks here. Then, well, let me just go with this. Let's just hit auto track. Okay, Fusion is tracking. Now I feel that Syntheyes is a little bit faster when it comes to the auto track. Waiting. Tracking. Some more tracking. It feels good though. It feels good. Honestly, it feels good to have this tracker inside of Fusion. It's like completely new feeling. Now, one advantage of having the tracker inside of Fusion is obviously that you can update your track at any time. And for example, with my robot, I want to try it out actually, but I'm pretty confident that it works. I could, for example, just change the shot of the same location that has a different camera, and then I could update the track, and I think that my scene would automatically update. I want to try this actually out, but I'm pretty confident it works. So now Fusion is running backwards. It's a part of the process, I guess. First I thought it's reversing, it's like rewinding because it made a mistake or something. Sometimes it's like when you update something, when you install something and then it moves back because it failed or something. Yeah, so here you can see now we have the auto track, and we have several colors. We actually looks like two colors, a green and a cyan, and that's looking good. But I've noticed already one thing, and you probably also noticed something. Check out the ground. don't you think that there are not enough trackers? So if you want to have a good track, you need evenly distributed trackers. This will give you the best accurate track. Now obviously here the floor or the ground doesn't have enough. That's something that if we check Syntheyes did actually a much better job right off the bat. Okay, you can see it nicely evenly distributed the trackers. Pretty good. Okay, let's move back to Fusion, see what we can do. Okay, in order to get more tracks, we need to play around with threshold or with this feature here. And I'm gonna use this one here, and I bring this down, and you can see that the trackers increase. Well, let's just hit reset. Increase. Now I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna hit pause because otherwise you will fall asleep in front of the monitor. So let's say maybe about a little bit more, maybe about this much. Okay, and I'm gonna hit auto track. Okay, so I got the auto track done, and we move to the camera, and now I gotta go back to my earlier track, and I gotta take the values here. So my drone apparently has a focal length of 9.11. It's very low, but the DJI, the drone camera, is tiny, super tiny, so it makes perfect sense. And this value was remembered, and this needs to be width, and I think it's looking good. It's Blackmagic Ursa. It's not the Ursa. I wish it was the Ursa. Ah yeah, and we're gonna refine the lens parameter, and I don't know exactly what this does, but I'm not gonna activate it for now. Okay, and that's all set, and move over to the Solve tab. And here, this, we just leave it at default for now. And you can see average solve error, still nothing there because we need to solve it. So keep staring at the monitor. Here's the waveform of my voice. That's probably distracted. Okay, so I'm gonna hit solve, and I'll see you in, I don't know, maybe an hour. No, I'm gonna actually stop. Okay, I'm gonna use the stopwatch. It's 12 o'clock here. It's all midnight here in Japan. So I'm gonna hit start and click solve at the same time. Ready, steady, go. It's running. Hope you can see it. So now you get this window here, and nothing happened. So I thought it actually froze. Here at the bottom it says launching solver. It is launching the solver. It just takes ages. So I'm gonna hit pause, and I'm see you in a bit. Pause. Okay, I'm back, and we got. It's actually not that bad. Well, the last time I had these the threshold and this minimum feature separation, I had it a little bit lower, so that I had it quite a lot lower, because I wanted the floor to be covered, or the ground to be covered much better, and it took, I think it took hours. I actually canceled it, but now we have 3 minutes and 16 seconds. It's not bad, but you saw that Syntheyes was much faster. Okay, but let's see actually what we got here. I mean, it's all about the result, right? Okay, so everything is fine. Let's check the error value. Okay, we got an error of 0.6. That's not bad. Before, when I tracked, I had an error of 2 point something. Okay, now I have 0.6. That's not bad. And you can spot here we have some red dots, and these are bad trackers. These are error trackers. And the thing is, now these are just a few. If we would have a lot of bad trackers, we would actually click this button here, select track satisfying filters. And now it selects basically what you have set here. So the maximum track error, the maximum solve error, the minimum track length, etc., etc. And you see, if I select now, it doesn't select all the bad trackers. It actually selects also green ones, but I'm gonna take them anyway and gonna delete them just by hitting delete or just pressing here. You can also hit delete, but sometimes accidentally you delete the whole node. Yeah, and you can just directly select them and click delete, or just do your swag here. Okay, and up here's another one. Okay, and let's see what else we got. So if we go through the whole track, it looks like everything is nice and tight. This doesn't look too bad. And once we've done that, once you've deleted the bad tracks, the same as Syntheyes, we need to resolve. Now in Syntheyes, you have more options on how you want to do the resolve. Okay, here it's basically, I think it's just all automatic. But let's see what happens. I'm just gonna click solve again, and here we go. 3, 2, 1. Solving time. It's running. I'm not sure if it goes faster now, and keep in mind that the progress bar stays most of the time at 0. It's not crashed. It's not crashed. It just stays, most of the time it stays to 0 and then it jumps to 98. That's what I have had so far. So it just jumps straight to 98, and then it takes 1 more minute until it finishes. That's with my situation here. I don't know what's with your situation. Maybe it's also hardware related, you know, maybe it's the whole system related or something. I don't know. Okay. Yes, but that what you have here, this area here, is basically the same thing as in Syntheyes. Let me switch. Is basically what you find in cleanup trackers. Okay, that's basically the same. You decide a threshold when a track becomes error, when a track becomes short-lived. You can all decide here, and you can select them, just like in Fusion. Let's go back, see. You see still a 0. It's getting late here. You might hear that my voice is a little bit tired. It was a rough day today. My company, you know, Japanese companies are really tough, gotta tell you. If you are planning on working in Japan, think twice. No, triple. It's no matter what they tell you, no matter what they promise you, no matter what they say on their website, don't trust them. It's really tough business here. It's like, I don't know why I'm telling you this. If you ever, because I had once, actually multiple times people wrote me how it is to work in Japan, and I cannot recommend it. Honestly, I cannot recommend it. But if you want to do your experience, go for it. Go for it. The experience is most important. And as my sensei or my master told me, every bad experience is a good experience. You just don't see it in that moment, but you see it maybe in 2 years. I'm done. We're done. We're done, and we are at 3:46. Oh, I forgot to hit stop. It makes 48, but it was 46. It doesn't matter. It's a few seconds. So it actually took longer. And check this out. The solve error is actually better than Syntheyes, and I think we did not do more than we did in Syntheyes. It was basically the same steps. There is one more thing that I want to dive into in another video, and a more in-depth video, how to actually, because if you zoom in you would see like subtle movements, and I want to see how to smooth them out to make it really nice, you know. Okay, but perfect. We have a very good track here. I'm so excited. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, but see here what I got. Okay, I got, you see this orange here? This is not, it's not the super bad error. It's not a bad error, but it's not a good track. It's not a bad track, but not a good track. It's like in the middle somewhere, I think. Now, what we could try, I'm not sure yet. There's thing here, solve weight. And I want to see if I put this to 0.5. I've selected the orange track, right? I want to see if I put this to 0.5 and click set. And now that's how you progress in tracking. You do step by step. It's like overclocking your machine. You know, recently I did this overclock thing. I built my Ryzen machine, and for the first time, and they all say it's step by step. Oh baby, oh, just hit me. Yeah, so you do it step by step, because you need to know which values cost the difference. That's why you need to do it step by step. Okay, so I did this thing. It's just something I assume now. I didn't do this before. And let me see if there's another one. I mean, there's some yellowish in there. There was a red one. We're gonna take this one. We're gonna throw it out. In German, we say, wer keine Miete bezahlt, muss raus. It means who doesn't pay rent has to get out. Yeah. Oh, I miss Germany. I miss my friends there at Movie Brats. Oh, such cool people. Such nice people. Okay, so there was this one orange, and well, I also deleted the red one. I actually shouldn't have done it, but well, you know what? I mean, I have to dive a little bit into this before I can actually do experiment. It will take time, you know, otherwise. But I did this, and I removed the red one, and I'm good. Oh, there's another one. This is kind of a bad tracker here. Okay, and I'm gonna, should I delete it? Should I delete it? What if I do this? Well, if I do this, it doesn't select it. It selects this one though, strangely enough. I'm gonna try this. Set this. Okay, and I'm gonna run this one more time. And now we need to remember, we need to be careful. We need to remember this value. 0.5141 is doesn't matter. I think up to the second digit. Let's see what we get. Okay, I hit solve one more time. I hope this thing doesn't crash. Okay, hit solve. I don't stop this time. It will be probably also again 340 or something. Okay, and hit solve. Let's see what we get. This is a lot of fun, man. This is a lot of fun. The fun part. The fun part is really, if you're doing like everything in Fusion, the fun part is that you can update. We come to this later. You can update your track, and it will automatically update your whole comp. Isn't that beautiful? That's beautiful. And also one more thing you have to keep in mind is the lens distortion. Lens distortion is something that usually you would have to undistort your image. You would have to undistort it, then you would track it, and then you would export it with the lens distortion information, and then you would do your composition, and you would add distortion to your CG, so that the CG gets the same distortion as your background, but undistorting the plate, the footage, it's definitely better. It's definitely better. Okay, done. And check this out. 0.5099. It still gets better, but we just did a few steps. Very simple, nothing super special magic, nothing. Once you're done with your track, you move to the next tab, the export tab. And in the 3D scene transform, you will find these two buttons. And this, I assume, is what basically we did with Syntheyes here with this one, aligning the track to the floor, to the ground level. I did it before, but it didn't work. Maybe I did something wrong, I'm not sure. So I did unaligned, and I matched it manually. It's just the height that I have to adjust. So it's easy to eyeball it, and I will show you. Here, ground plane options, that's stuff that you can adjust later, since this is just a simple plane. And export options, okay, camera, point cloud, ground plane, renderer, and enable image plane, animate the camera, all self-explanatory. This is the cool part. This is tools remembered here will be updated when the update previous export button is pressed. lens distorters in here, by the way. Okay, so that's what I was talking about, the update. That's the cool thing about having it in Fusion. Okay, so now I'm gonna hit the export button, and I already assume something. Automatically update previous, okay, export, and it put it, of course, right where I don't want to have it. And let's see what we got. Just view this here. And the first thing I want to do is I set this to OpenGL so I can see the ground plane, which is set to wireframe. I'm going to put the color down to black so we can see it. And the point cloud I don't need now. And now I want to move this ground plane down. And the question is now, how far do we move it down? Difficult to say, right? There's a simple trick you can do. And for that, you need, again, a reference point. And we choose, which one do you want? What about this bad boy here, maybe? So I'm at frame 0, and I'm gonna just adjust this so that it fits onto that point. And now I just hit play, and I watch how much it actually moves away from the point. The grid moves slower than the point, which tells us that the grid must be further from the camera. Hence, it's further down. That's just simple parallax rules. It means this thing has to go up. Let's bring this up. Again, I'm gonna match this. Actually, let's go back again. So I moved it up, and now I'm gonna match this again. And I move it again. And I see it's still moving slower. So up, 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 up. And you do this until you get closer and closer. You can see we're already much closer, okay? Now the difference between Fusion Syntheyes this time did a pretty good job on leveling the whole scene. But sometimes, even though the track is perfect, the whole scene is like rotated and stuff, you know. And you have to do this alignment thing. But Fusion is doing a pretty good job on actually aligning it right off the batch. Okay, now you can see we're getting pretty close. So a little bit more. We're pretty close. Okay, look at this. This sticks really nicely. We're still on the point. We're still on the point. We're still on the point. Operation done. We can check some other points. Here, this line. Oh man. Oh man. Amazing. We have a very, very nice track. Now this is much better than the track I showed before with my robot. This is much, much better. It's really... Okay, and I'm gonna put in another... actually, let's put in our robot. Huh? Let's be cool. Let's be cool. Da, da, da. By the way, if you're interested in this robot scene here, let me know in the comments, and I might make a whole tutorial and a project file for you. And if you want to support me, as always, Patreon is the platform to go. Of course, this is not the wrong color space, whatever. This is not matched at all, but let's see. Okay, so I ran out of memory since I'm recording audio, video, and doing this memory intense operation here. So here's a cache of this thing. This is how it looks, pretty darn good. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this little preview on what is about to come. Okay. Anyways, if you like it, and give me a comment or something, you know. And I'm off to bed now. So, my name is Vito. I'll see you soon. Until then, happy tracking.